Here come the lights for the Monaco Grand Prix. And Formula One goes racing on the street.
Basics of Formula One. Are you here after hearing the word Formula One for the first time? Or you already know a bit about this pinnacle of motorsports, but want to delve deeper into this world? Perhaps you're a die-hard Formula One fan, but you still want to watch F1 explained by an idiot. If you fall into any of these categories, welcome to my video. I'm quite excited to share the F1 world with you in detail.
The one is underway.
Formula One is basically about 20 ultra-rich guys that race 220 miles an hour on the weekends together on a spaghetti-style track.
He's learned that Piastri will not give him space.
Instead of being stuck in the same city their whole lives, F1 officials prefer racing in different cities all over the world.
The Hungarian Grand Prix and the Miami Grand Prix is...
With some extremely famous F1 drivers.
First World Championship.
I guess that's how it's done.
Their racing cars are so advanced and spacious that you feel like you are stepping into a spaceship. But they are so expensive that Formula One has to make the rule that teams couldn't spend more than $140 million in a season.
Flag on lap 9 of 78 of the Monaco Grand Prix. We've got Hulkenberg all over the Williams, but what has happened?
Not only are their cars, but their stadiums are also extremely advanced and luxurious. For example, the Miami Grand Prix cost about $40 million to build, and it hosted nearly 250,000 people over 3 days.
Ferraris, and Oscar has just managed to pass the Ferraris.
In short, F1's world is just like a rabbit hole. So grab your popcorn or Red Bull and be ready to dive into this dramatic world with an idiot.
Leclerc! A bit wide at the exit of the last corner. Just impressive. Thank you guys. This place is amazing.
What is F1? The honest answer to this question is, it is a sport for nerds. These nerds enjoy the motor race from late February to the end of November. December to February is the time of the year when these nerds curl up on their couches and enjoy memes or spicy news about F1.
Obviously a great start and good first stint meant that...
He's slowing down,
I'm fast as fuck, boy.
and Lando Norris takes second place. Here comes...
So basically, F1 is an international single-seater racing championship, governed by the FIA. It's called Formula because all teams must follow a strict set of rules that govern car design, team operations, and race procedures. There are currently 10 teams in Formula One, and each team is like a little dysfunctional family. This family contains 2 drivers, tons of engineers who never sleep, and a team principal who has to pretend everything is fine even when both cars crash on lap 1. It means each team sends their 2 drivers on the grid who have to race together to earn championships for their team. But make no mistake, these drivers are not besties. They are teammates on Sunday morning and rivals by Sunday afternoon.
Oh, he was nearly hit by his teammate.
What the was that? Checo points behind.
F1 holds around 20 or 24 races per year in different countries. This is called the Grand Prix. Yes, you are guessing it right. Grand Prix is a French business which loves to flirt with speed and race. Every F1 race features 20 drivers who can react faster than your internet refresh button, but somehow still whines on the radio like your little cousin losing at Fortnite. In each race, drivers essentially score points, and the one with the most points ultimately wins the championship. These points are only given to those drivers who finish the race within the top 10. These points contribute to 2 things, the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors' Championship. The Drivers' Championship counts individual points of every driver, such as 25 points for first position and 18 for second. You can get 1 bonus point for doing the fastest lap. On the other hand, the Constructors' Championship counts both drivers' number of any team. For example, if Red Bull drivers get first or second position in a race, the team will get 43 points. Winning a constructor championship means the team's car engineers get less sleep and more podiums. F1 cars. Here a lot of rookies ask the question, don't F1 teams get the same cars for racing? Well, no. Formula One is all about testing your skills and brains. Before the season starts, the engineers of every team have to develop a car by following the formula set by the FIA. These regulations make sure that no team comes up with a rocket, or Uber, or limousine. All the cars should be single-seaters, must pass crash tests from every possible angle, and no team should cheat from the homework of the other.
Mercedes moves backwards, up the inside again. Lovely
Oh,
start.
into the wall! It was brilliant!
Each team must have a different car with a length of approximately 5.5 meters, a width of around 200 centimeters, a height limited to 95 centimeters, and a minimum weight of 798 kilograms, including the driver and dry tires. In short, your car should be so efficient that it could easily tackle football while racing. If we talk about fuel, only 110 kilograms is allowed per race. It means you can't just pour Red Bull into the tank and call it a day. Also, starting in 2026, F1 engines must run on 100% sustainable fuel. That is the sport's way of saying, we care about the planet, but we still want to go fast. Now it is time to see the extreme nerdy side of F1.
So box, 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 box.
Keep it saying now.
No, stay up. In.
FIA controls what teams can and can't do with wings, floor, diffuser, and all those fancy flaps. Since 2022, ground effect aerodynamics has returned. It means the car basically sucks itself to the ground like a vacuum. Now, this concept might seem a bit complex, so let me simplify it. Think of a Formula One car as an upside-down aeroplane. Both are designed to move through the air as quickly as possible. However, while an aeroplane's wings generate lift to help it rise, an F1 car's wings generate downforce to keep it firmly on the ground, ensuring the driver maintains control at high speeds. Every car must have mirrors, crash structures, fire suppression, and a halo over the head of the driver.
On the left-hand side of your halo, there's a plastic bag. If you could reach up your left-hand side and try and remove it, just beside your head on the left-hand side. A bit more to the halo. Yep, just put down.
Well, never mind. If we talk about engines, there are 4 engine manufacturers in F1, which are Honda, Ferrari, Renault, and Mercedes. You have to choose an engine to work with and make sure to create an effective aerodynamic car. Otherwise, something like this will happen.
Just ever so slightly, coupled with the slightly damp conditions that we have.
F1 terms. Alright, now we're entering the real nerdy zone of this video. I try so hard to skip this part every time, but let's be honest, if we don't understand some basic F1 terms, we might as well be watching lawnmower racing. So buckle up while I speed run through a bunch of F1 terms and what they mean. So, first of all, DRS. It is the movable aerodynamic device that makes your car go faster as its rear wing opens, which allows for less drag. It can be activated in a car with the help of a button, but you can only activate it in DRS zones of a racetrack. Is it clear now? If you still don't understand this term, this video will help you.
Then they start catching up, he'll be grateful.
You know what DRS stands for, Noah?
You're putting a good distance.
Don't take it seriously. Now, let's discuss pole position. The driver who qualifies first starts at the very front of the grid on race day. This position is gold for F1 players because it is the best starting spot. Clean air, no traffic, and bragging rights are available with it. Moving forward, there are P1, P2, and P3. P stands for position here, and numbers tell us the position of the driver in the race. Now it is time for the podium. Honestly, this will remind you of your crazy graduation event. Here, the top 3 finishers stand on the podium after the race to brag about their talent and skills. It also means champagne showers, awkward small talk, and oversized hats.
Close to Mark Webber at the moment. He's got one last bottle of champagne to spray, and he's going to do it all over his mate. Oh, and he falls over. He's down. Kind of half-styled it out, Mark.
And he's out now, of course.
After this, there is grid. It means the starting lineup of cars, arranged based on qualifying results. In the front row, P1 and P2 stand while others remain in the background. Now, in race retirement, in the F1 world, it doesn't mean sipping cocktails on a beach, but it means a driver has to stop racing before the finish due to mechanical failure, crash, fire, or electronics meltdown. The official term for it is DNF. By the way, Kimi Räikkönen loves in-race retirement more than anything in the world.
We've lost the second and third place man in this race, and well, Räikkönen's chances of winning it. There is Kimi Räikkönen. He's not even gone back to the paddock. He's got his shirt off. He's on his boat, which has a splendid name, One More Toy. He's with some of it.
Now, pit spot. The driver pulls into the pits mid-race for a tire change or wing adjustment. It usually takes 2-3 seconds, unless you are Ferrari.
Is this Lance Stroll out of the race? Oh dear. Oh, I hope that man's okay.
Yeah, the medics.
Pit stops are used for one more thing too: time penalties. Yep, it's basically a punishment for breaking the rules, like speeding in the pit lane or causing a collision. What, you thought only schools handed out punishments? Nope. F1 drivers get their fair share too, with penalties like a 5-second time penalty, a 10-second stop and go, or even being forced to drive through the pit lane without stopping. Harsh, right? Race weekends. Alright, let's take a break from the nerdy side of F1 and dive into the excitement of race weekends. A Formula One weekend is like a perfectly scripted 3-act play. You've got practice, qualifying, and the grand finale. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are basically holy days for F1 fans.
Leclerc, Piastri, and Verstappen were very close as well into Saint-Devant, but the positions have held as we climb the hill. Charles Leclerc all over the...
Friday is all about practice makes perfect. This day is for Free Practice 1 and Free Practice 2 races.
First practice ahead of the 2025 Miami Grand Prix, and the second sprint weekend of the season allowed drivers just 60 minutes of running.
Teams use these sessions to test different tire compounds, fine-tune car setups, collect data like they are running a mobile weather station, and let drivers learn the track. Or relearn it if they forgot where the breaking points are. Each session lasts about an hour, but it is not about lap times, it's about getting the car dialed in for the rest of the weekend. Now it is followed by Saturday. That day is all about practice, then pressure. The day usually starts with Free Practice 3, the last chance to get everything perfect. It's like cramming for a final exam 10 minutes before the bell. Then comes qualifying, the real deal. This is where the drivers fight for grid positions.
Behrman in the bottom 5. Stroll has completed his...
Qualifying is split into 3 knockout rounds. Q1, where all 20 drivers go out and the bottom 5 are eliminated. It is followed by Q2. In it, 15 drivers fight and another 5 go home. At last, Q3. In it, the final 10 battled for pole position. Finally, it is Sunday. It is the Grand Prix day, where the final race will take place. Drivers line up on the grid based on qualifying results, the lights go out, and chaos erupts at turn 1. From there, it's strategy, overtakes, pit stops, tire drama, and maybe a radio meltdown or two.
Lewis Hamilton wins the Turkish Grand Prix and is a 7-time champion of the world.
Get in there, Lewis. What a way to do it, mate. What a way to win your 7th world title.
The race usually lasts around 90 minutes to 2 hours, and the goal is simple: finish first, or at least in the top 10 to score points. But remember, F1 being F1, even finishing at all is sometimes an achievement. The top 3 head to the podium, the champagne flies, and the national anthems play.
Fernando Alonso is still the championship leader. It's been a very happy day for him.
Wasn't it simple? Well, Formula One lovers don't love simple things. So they complicate this race weekend with the introduction of sprint weekends. Sprint weekends. Well, most of the time, F1 follows the usual schedule of race weekend that we have just discussed. But sometimes they want more chaos, more overtakes, and more reasons for fans to argue on Twitter. So, they introduce sprint weekends. Basically, on these weekends, F1 skips practice 2 and practice 3. Friday includes one practice, and then qualifying sessions for Sunday's race. Saturday includes a short sprint race of almost 100 kilometers with its own points and separate qualifying. Sunday is the regular Grand Prix. In 2025, there were 6 out of 24 sprint weekends. Basics of F1 race. Now you know the basics of a race weekend. But do you know F1 races are not all about running in a circle? In fact, it's about who is smartest, who follows the rules, and who knows when to pit without turning their race into a disaster. In theory, all F1 teams compete under the same rules, but in reality, there are performance tiers. No, this isn't official. There is no PowerPoint from the FIA saying, Red Bull goes in Tier 1, but fans and analysts know the pecking order. Tier 1 is the elite. These are the teams fighting for championships, usually with the biggest budgets, best engineers, and top-tier drivers. Think Red Bull, Mercedes, and occasionally Ferrari when they're not self-sabotaging.
They know no fear, do they?
Absolutely.
200 mile an hour.
Tier 2 includes the midfield warriors, teams like McLaren, Aston Martin, and Alpine, who might not win every race, but can absolutely shake up the top 5.
So, a dream debut with Aston Martin.
Yes! What you have done, guys? What you have done?
Tier 3 is the underdogs. These teams are often at the back of the grid, like Haas or Williams, working miracles just to score a point or two. It's a bit like high school. Some teams are the popular kids, some are the try-hard athletes, and some are just praying not to get called out during attendance. Now, let's talk about other tires of F1. Formula 1 tires are supplied exclusively by Pirelli, and they come in several compounds, each with its own personality. During a normal dry race weekend, the most common ones are the soft, medium, and hard tires. Think of them like pizza crusts. Soft is fast but fragile, hard lasts forever but takes a while to warm up, and medium is your safe Sunday dinner option. Now, in wet conditions, F1 brings out the specialty tires. One of them is intermediates. They are used when it is not quite wet enough to drown, but too slick for dry tires. The second ones are full wets that are used when the track looks like a river. Now, let's talk about strategy, because winning isn't just about raw speed, but about playing the long game. And trust me, a good strategist is just as valuable as a fast driver in the F1 world. In the strategy, tire management is crucial. Drivers have to change their tires 2 times during a race in dry conditions, so they can choose the tire compound strategically, according to the weather, players' positions, and game conditions. With this, the timing of the pit stop itself matters a lot in a strategy. Get it right, and you leapfrog rivals with the infamous undercut. Get it wrong, and you either come out in traffic or spend the rest of the race yelling on the radio. F1 teams. Now, after all this complex and boring information, you all must be thinking, which F1 team should I support? Well, to help you in this regard, I have assembled the whole guide of F1 teams and drivers for you here. You can thank me later in the comments section. McLaren, the literal papaya powerhouse of F1, this orange team has one of the strongest legacies in F1 history. In 2025, McLaren has gone from promising midfield team to full-blown title contenders faster than Lando Norris can say, box, box.
We're here for the new version of the McLaren Challenge. McLaren
boxed.
Unboxed.
Boxed.
What's in the
box?
Or get in the box.
With Oscar Piastri and Lando forming possibly the most photogenic and formidable duo on the grid, McLaren is finally cashing in on all that papaya-colored hope. These two drivers have become famous around F1 for their cuteness, smiles, and obviously memes.
Lando Norris goes past his teammate.
Okay, Lando, we'd like to re-establish the order at your convenience.
You guys give me this strategy, okay? I'm trying to rescue myself.
Ferrari. Ferrari is the team you root for out of love, trauma, or both. This team gives us different remarkable players and moments, such as Carlos Sainz and his smooth operator meme.
Operator.
Smooth operator.
With Charles Leclerc still carrying the hopes of Tifosi everywhere and Lewis Hamilton adding 7-time championship energy, it is one of the best teams. Just ignore their tragic pit calls, disheveled race managers, and their unexpected twists on tracks, and you are good to love this team.
Verstappen and Hamilton come together again.
Red Bull. Red Bull has gone from untouchable champions to realizing what it's like to actually be touched by McLaren, Ferrari, and even Mercedes on a good day. Max Verstappen is still driving like he owns the circuit, but the car isn't always keeping up.
This could be why you shouldn't be feeling too comfortable for a while, and Verstappen goes straight into the barrier.
With Sergio Perez replaced by Liam Lawson, it's a bit of a rebrand for the team. Now, if you are wondering what this rebranding is, every F1 driver is basically an employee. They make contracts with a team and can be replaced once the contract ends. So, Red Bull did a new contract with Liam Lawson to bring some new energy to the team. Mercedes is in reboot mode with George Russell leading the charge and teenage prodigy Andrea Kimi Antonelli stealing hearts and overtakes.
Kimi Antonelli won the 3rd DHL Fastest Lap Award of 2025, becoming the youngest driver.
Their Hamilton era was a golden one, but now the garage is a mix of youthful energy and a desperate need to fix the car's chronic meh syndrome. Aston Martin is that stylish team that looks like they have it all together until the race starts. The car has speed on Saturdays, but forgets to show up on Sundays. After their 2023 high, 2025 has been more of a flat line than a glow-up, but their Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll are all set to steal the hearts of people, especially Alonso with his GOAT meme that refuses to die in F1 history.
What is the fastest lap?
Here, tomorrow.
Williams continues to be the team everyone wants to see succeed, kind of like rooting for your younger sibling who is trying really hard in a competitive science fair. Alex Albon is still their crown jewel, driving that blue and white rocket ship with bravery and hope, while Logan Sargent only exists.
It's amazing to see Thai flags everywhere, obviously when we go to Europe.
On their best day, they can annoy the midfield. On their worst, they're explaining to Netflix how it all went wrong again. One thing is for sure, when Williams finally gets it right, it's gonna hit differently. Alpine. The team has become the definition of internal chaos wrapped in a very pretty blue car. After parting ways with both Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly by mid-season, Alpine has been rotating drivers like it's a reality show in 2025. Alpine's current strategy seems to be surprise everyone by surviving. Haas, Sauber, RB? These teams are, unfortunately, the backbenchers. They never give any surprises, and their players' life plans don't include winning the F1 championship. Money involved in F1. I have said numerous times in this video that F1 is all about money and millionaires, but is it true? Well, different reports told us that running an F1 team costs around $95 million to $425 million. The spending got so wild that the FIA had to step in and introduce a cost cap of $140 million. And just so you know, each F1 car alone costs around $15 to $20 million, so yes, F1 is very rich. But here's the twist. Do F1 teams actually make money? Well, if we dig deeper into the reports and data, we find out that F1 teams basically make nothing. Take Red Bull, for example. They pulled in £230 million in revenue, but their costs were £229 million. After spending insane amounts on the car, the drivers, and the engineers, their final profit was just $1.5 million. That's barely anything in this world of supercars and private jets. So maybe F1 isn't the luxurious money-making machine it appears to be. Which brings us to the real question. Why are teams and drivers so obsessed with F1? The answer lies outside the racetrack. F1 is a global marketing machine. Brands like Ferrari have become legends not just because of their road cars, but because of their iconic presence in F1. People love to drink Red Bull while watching F1 because it will give them wings. Moreover, F1 drivers are also famous for doing different advertisements for various brands around the globe. Their fame helped them make money through social media.
It's Nico Rosberg!
It's Michael Schumacher.
Hello?
Whoa, wait. Shouldn't we go with Michael? He's 7-time world champion.
Yes, but Nico got twice as many points last season.
So F1 is the biggest marketing strategy of some huge brands of the world. They are selling to us through our addiction to Formula One. Now, don't be too disappointed here, because F1 is not all about money or marketing, it is also about different science experiments. Think of F1 as one giant high-speed laboratory. The way these cars are designed, tested, and operated on the grid is nothing short of a scientific marvel. They're pushed to their absolute limits, and the world watches in awe as drivers control machines at insane speeds, survive brutal crashes, and push the boundaries of engineering without the car turning into a fireball. During the race, each car is equipped with sensors that send back tons of data to the team. Yes, besides listening to their drivers' dramatic radio meltdowns, the engineers are actually doing way more than you might think.
And George suggests more management. 6, turn 6.
They use sensor data for the whole world's benefit. It is helping them to improve our cars and introduce a revolution in the wheel industry. In short, F1 is like if Iron Man, Mario Kart, and an international soap opera had a baby. And then that baby grew up with money, drama, and speed addiction. What are your thoughts about it? Do tell me in the comments section, and subscribe to our channel for more F1 drama.